Hello everyone, welcome to the operational level case study analysis for November 2021 and February 2022. So this time they have given a shoe manufacturing sector trade Cushy. Before we move into the case analysis, students, I have the following concerns. Please have a piece of paper and a pen. Please have a paper and a pen before you start working. Paper and a pen before you start working, because students, you can write down all the notes whatever that is there. Secondary students, that you need to make sure that you are able to grasp the knowledge as much as possible. So students, before I move on to the real application, I just want to show you the subject mapping. Now students, if you observe the operational level case study, it may look tough, but generally for a student who has come from the SEMA foundation, it may not be much difficult. The students who are doing FLP needs to work very hard, because this knowledge needs to be little bit recapped in a real hardcore situation. So students, coming into the situation here, we have three subjects: managing finance in digital world, performance accounting, that is the management accounting, the performance pillar, and the financial reporting. Now students, if you observe, the financial reporting looks the longest one with 18 chapters. But students, one thing you need to remember, they can maximum test only one question from this area. But students, in the worst case scenario, they can go for two. So you need to be very much strong with the technical content as well. So students, coming into the P1, if you observe, most of the areas what you have learned is from the foundation other than the linear programming. Because students, if you observe, the linear programming is an area which was tested in this subject only. Because in the foundation level, they have just the limiting factor for one output only, or I can say one limiting factor, but linear programming is for more than one limiting factors. So students, coming into the next one, if you see managing finance in digital world, it is a very interesting topic, because now if you observe, students, most of the environment has become automated. We generally do online banking nowadays. So get that point of view very clearly, students. So managing finance in digital world, management accounting, and financial reporting. So these are the three key areas that you need to be very much stable with. Okay students, so coming into the case study for your understanding, before we move into the case study, students, I just want to make sure that every student should be aware about the syllabus content, that is the core activities. I'll try to make it little bigger for you so that it will be very clear to understand. So students, if you observe, these are the questions that will be tested in the examination. So generally, when you are learning, please be trained enough to go through the content areas. Even though it looks longer, students, operational case study is the easiest case study of all the three subjects, because the technical content is very, very high. So students, coming down, they are telling about the budget. So here they are telling, for example, I can explain, look at the verb they are using, students. I can explain the use of different forecasting method to assist budget preparation. So you need to be able to explain how it can be forecasted. Basic explanation only required, and you need to connect it to the business as well. So students, coming into the next one, the analyze performance using financial and non-financial information and the relevant things. So students, if you observe, you have until F. But frankly speaking, students, most of these areas what is there in this is generally a manageable task. Now students, coming into the next area, that is the TED Cushy. Now students, if you observe the TED Cushy, they always come with the disclaimer that the COVID-19 pandemic. Now students, get the understanding very clearly, because in your examination, they will always want a situation-based response. I will write it with you, students. It is a situation-based response. Situation-based response. So students, always remember, students, whatever said and done, how much you have practice marks, whatever you do, at the end of the day, students, it is very important that you connect your answer to the situation and apply. So students, if you look at the November, February 2000 case study, the TED Cushy, this is the brand. So if you observe here, students, the TED Cushy brand is a clear citation that it's a manufacturing sector. So get the understanding here, students, it is purely a manufacturing sector. Manufacturing sector. So students, you will be using your P1 knowledge extensively. There can be situation of limiting factor analysis. There can be situation of break-even point analysis. There can be situation of linear programming. So many things will be done, but remember one thing, students, They do not want the students to be a calculation expert here. Remember that you need to be an application oriented. They want the students to be application oriented. Students who are doing the FLP, so I will write down here carefully, the students who are doing the FLP, please make sure, students, that you complete all the competencies that is mentioned in the FLP platform, because it is critically important that you will be able to apply more than that. So my recommendation is, students, since you know the subject breakdown, please study the E1, please study the P1, please study the F1. These three contents needs to be studied as much as possible, students. This is a humble request I am making. This pre-scene and the case study in general, while aiming to reflect real life. So students, please make sure that do not write COVID pandemic situation unless if the situation is mentioned. So remember, students, they will always give you marks based on the response what you give for the situation that has been mentioned. Now students, let's do a quick decoding of this. Now if you observe here your role, if you see in the operational level your role, you can write it down if you are having a piece of paper. Your role is going to be a finance officer. Your role is going to be what, students? Your role is going to be a finance officer. And the introduction they will say about the company profile, everything, and the extract of Treadcourage website, what is the athletic shoes and this. So I can write down here, it's a business knowledge that you need to be aware about. The directors they will generally give so that you will be able to understand the board competencies. So they are the people who are involved. So in people we generally say as the stakeholders, because students, stakeholder relationship is very much important at the end of the day. Production, sales, distribution and finance team they have given, how the functions are working on. Other information about company operation is also given. The industry structure is also given. Financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2021 and budgeted information for the year ended 30th June 2022. Students, just remember one thing, budgeting and forecasting is a very critical area in this. Again, students, just remember it is basic common sense once again, students. Don't panic yourself writing too many answers which you are unfamiliar with. Just focus on the content and just be casual. And the articles they always give you, I generally say this is a distractor, students. Why they give you the article is some students predict the examination. They get overconfidence. They think, okay, now we are prepared with this examination because we know everything in the articles. We are prepared for anything that comes in the examination. But be very careful, students. If you go in that aspect, there is a high risk that you may not be able to clear, because the examiner is always concerned about how strong your answers are to the situation. And the tax regime of Keeland is given. Generally, they give this taxation just to make the students familiar with the F1 content, students. But they can generally ask basic technical questions only. So I believe it is very clear for you. So coming to your role. Now students, this is very important. Your role. You are the finance officer. So students, just remember, if you see the organizational hierarchy, you are in the operational level. What level you are in, students? You are in the operational level for your understanding. Within the finance department of Cushy. Students get the understanding tread. Tread means running shoes, if I am not mistaken. We run in the treadmill. Okay, and the Cushy means, I think it has an absorption of the shock absorption is there. Okay, so just remember, students, running and the absorption. You are principally involved in preparation of management accounting information and providing information to managers to assist with decision making. At times, you are also expected to assist with the preparation of financial statements and answer queries regarding financial reporting and other financial matters. So get that point of view as much as possible, students, because it is very much important. So students, one good thing I can say is, for the past few papers, this is the same role they have been given. So once again, I am writing here, students, E1, P1 and F1 technical knowledge is important. Students, a humble request, FLP is a compulsory. You need to go through the FLP LMS given to you by CIMA. But also, students, please be kind enough to refer the study pack as well, students, because this is your operational case study. So you need to have a very much understanding of the technical content, because it is very much essential and important, students. Okay students, now coming forward, what we can do is introduction. So Cushy is a company that designs, manufactures, sells a range of athletic shoes that is made using natural recycled material. Now this sentence makes a lot of impact. So I will just decode this sentence. They do the designing, they do the manufacturing, they do the sales. Now students, if you observe in the 2022 aspect, what I can say is, of these three, manufacturing can be outsourced. I can just write down this for you, so that you need to be able to think how can digitally finance can support this outsourcing. We can have ERP system to monitor the performances, correct? So you need to get that point of view, because designing cannot be outsourced provided that your design functions are the best for the consumer. But manufacturing is just a process of just building the bridge. You are not the engineer, you are just the worker in the manufacturing. The designers are the engineers at the end of the day. The company is based in Kielen. So students, one more thing very important is Kielen. The country is important. Just remember students, don't write United States example in the examination. If it is relevant, yes, but just don't write an example for the sake of writing. Always your first priority should go to Kielen. Always your first priority should go to what? Kielen. Now students, this is one more thing, and they are specifically mentioning they have athletic shoes. So I will write that as well, athletic shoes. And the most critical thing that every one of us you should have in your mind is the unique selling point. What is the unique selling point? Natural and recycled material. Natural and recycled material. Natural and recycled material. Understand it very clearly students. Natural and recycled material. But frankly speaking students, this concept is the latest concept in the world, because we say this as a sustainability concept, which is critically important. A country located in the mainland Europe, so get the understanding it's a European country, but unfortunately students, they have not mentioned whether it's a developed country or a developing country. Let's see whether it is there or no, but they have just mentioned in Europe. So students, just remember one thing, all the countries in the Europe is not a developed country. Just keep in mind students, which has K dollars as a currency. So just remember that, very important. Kielen, that is the name of the country, and the currency they have is critically important students. Okay, coming to the next one for your understanding, it's not so complicated. Cushy was founded in 2007 by Sophia Griggs and Harry Blank. So students, remember the names of the founder and the starting period as well. Prior to the founding of the company, Sophia and Harry worked for the same major worldwide athletic shoes and clothing brand. Sophia and Harry are passionate about the environment, sustainability, and the use of natural materials. So students, get the understanding, environment, sustainability, and the use of natural material. Whilst working in the worldwide brand, they sincerely found themselves frustrated in lack of focus on the environmental concern and the lack of natural and recycled material being used to create athletic shoes. So students, this is the rationale or the reason for the founding. Why did they found it? So students, there can be a situation where there can be a pollution, there can be a situation of pollution or harm that is caused to the environment. So there can be a contradiction students. So just make sure you are very strong and stable in this area. As a result, Sophia and Harry decided to develop their own brand of athletic shoes and founded Cushy in 2007. They founded Cushy in 2007 based in a small workshop. So it's a humble beginning in the 2007. They work closely with the raw material suppliers, and by early 2010, they have developed the first range of casual athletic shoes made almost entirely from natural material. So in 2010 was their changing point of innovation where they have developed this. Students, these say this as a value innovation because students, if you see, they are giving value plus innovation. So just keep in mind. These included wools, a natural rubber, a sugar cane, castor beans. So students, a very humble request, please write these verbs in a piece of paper. that is wool, natural rubber, sugarcane and castor beans, because this is very important. Why it is important is these are the major raw materials that is essential. The athletic shoes were launched to the market in mid 2010. Sales of all were through company's own website. So it's a very good digitally transformed company. Again, look at the verb I am using, students, digitally transformed company. Now students, in India you may be knowing companies, example like HRX, I think Shah Rukh Khan, Hrithik Roshan's company. Now if you see, those companies all generally founded through online only, students. Even students, you look at in India, we have something called Sparks. Akshay Kumar come into advertisement. So Sparks also is a shoe brand that generally originated from the idea of digital transformation. Amounted to 25,000 pairs in the first year of launch. So frankly speaking, students, 25,000 shares in the pairs in the first year of launch is a greater success, I can generally say. And it's very interesting to see how the company has grown, students. Very nice and very interesting as well. Sophia and Harry decided that the production would be kept in-house so that they could control the sustainability of manufacturing process and to ensure that they were focused on craftsmanship. That means, students, they are trying to specialize their labors as well and to give the best quality products to the employees. Therefore, in early 2010, a site in central Keeland was purchased. A production facility, distribution center, head office was established in that site. So students, they have a production facility, distribution center and a head office. Why I am telling you to write these things is, these are critically important, students, when you are doing the budgeting. Please remember, students, when you are doing the budgeting, these are critically important, students, critically important, because budgeting always needs to have business knowledge when you are computing the numbers. In the early stages, the company was founded by a venture capital finance as well by a private investor who saw promise in his new innovative brand. So students, they have initially founded a venture capital finance company. So just remember one thing, students, there can be situation of corporate governance where the exit route must be developed for the venture capitalists to move away from the organization when the organization does well. The passion and the drive for both Sophia and Harry, as well as the support of early investors, ensured that Tread Cushy went from strength to strength, not only gaining brand awareness in Keelan, but in many other European countries. So students, I can generally say, continental wise, they are performing really, really well for your understanding. In 2015, the company launched a range of athletic shoes for your understanding, with uppers made from fabrics created from yarn, derived from wood pulp. Just get the understanding, students. So they initially developed using the wood pulp, everything, with such fabric giving natural weather resistance property. So they have the weather resistance properties as well. Sophia and Harry developed a range of performance athletic shoes for running, which were launched in market 2017. In the same year, Tread Cushy opened its first store in the capital city of Keelan, having previously raised entirely direct selling through its own website. In addition to the production facilities was expanded and new distribution centers were opened 10 kilometers from the main site. So they are developing very faster, students, because of their unique idea, that is sustainability and recycled item. And I generally feel, students, the millennial, that means the people who are in the current trend, they generally love these things because they are experiencing global pandemic, global warming, everything. So they are giving more preference to the sustainable product. In the year 30th June 2021, the company's revenue was $68 million and the profit before tax was $6 million. Students, these numbers are critically important because when you're doing the ratio analysis, when you're doing the trend analysis, this is critically important to make decisions. During that year, the company sold more than 700,000 pairs of athletic shoes to the European market. 10 European countries, opened in the 14 stores as well. By 2025, Tread Cushy aimed to be selling 1 million pair of athletic shoes a year across more than 20 countries. The company also has aimed to carbon neutral by 2030. So students, if you observe, there are very much good proposals. If you see students, they have a very much proposal indirectly. As a finance officer, they are saying students that we are going to expand, so you need to do the budget for us. Expansion is a high level of an expectation in the examination. Students, we are going to expand, and when we are going to expand our business, students, you should make sure that you are able to derive this properly. Okay, coming to the website, students. So nowadays, students, informations are always presented in the website, because if you observe, when we were small, we need to get the annual reports in order to check the additional information. But since companies are becoming carbon neutral, they are preventing using the papers, and they are becoming completely on that means I can specifically say they are completely becoming on wastage, reducing all these things. They are focusing on the website. So what are the special about the athletic shoes? Let's come into the application, students. There are three main things to make our athletic shoes special. Made from 100% natural and recycled material. Students, again, they are insisting on this 100% verb. Now I can say 99% will be little safer, because in case if there was a newspaper allegation stating that these people are fraud, they are telling lies, then there will be a bigger problem later for the organization. We use yarn made out of sustainable source wool and wood pulp to create our shoe upper. We use combination of natural rubber, sugarcane, composites and mold into the midsoles and outsoles of the athletic shoes. All insoles are made out of castor beans, laces from recycled plastic, and even eyelets are stitched using sustainable sewed cotton thread. Finally, all our production is made out of 100% recycled cardboard. So students, I am generally telling you, this is very, 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 very important. Just to interact you, I'll just come into the situation. There is an area called variance analysis, students. What I will do is I will just highlight this section so that you will be very clear. This variance analysis, what you learned in your technical class and what you are going to do it in the case study class is completely different. So for the variance analysis, students, there will be situation of adverse variable and favorable variable. So you can't just say raw material, you need to say the terms what they have mentioned: castor beans, yarn, wool, wool pulp. These verbs are very, very important, students. So I am telling you to make the notes as much as possible so that it will be very, very easy for you when you are studying. Made in Kalen at our own production facilities. So students, made in Kalen. Now this is one brand, actually German companies, they do made in Germany, they say. Now BMW, Benz car, when they use the term made in Germany, the valuation goes up. People get a better impression. Oh, this company is from Germany. They are very good. They are very good. We pride ourselves on keeping 100% of our production in-house. From weaving the fabric used to create our shoe upper, to assemble the final inspection of the shoes. All this is carried out our production facilities in central Keilen by our skilled craft people. So students, they are specifically stating their skills, craftsmanship. So students, don't write labor, you need to say craftsmen or the crafts people, because this is very much important, students, very much important, because the craftsman is very important, students, the craft people. Because students, the skill is important. Example, Italy has a better designing function in the world, because Italian garments, Italian shoes are really expensive. Created with both comfort and style in the mind. All our athletic shoes are designed to be stylish, whilst also being the most comfortable pairs of athletic shoes that you will own. We strongly believe that once you own a pair of Ted Cushy athletic shoe, you will never want to go back to another athletic shoe brand. And they have specifically mentioned that meaning is, students, customer loyalty. They are taking over the customer loyalty, because I think, students, generally some brands are there, example like Hush Puppies, everything. Once you wear it, you will continuously wear that because the performance level is very strong. Example, Under Armour, so many brands are there. Now students, this is one thing they generally give in the case studies of operational level, always to make the students think too much, because again I am telling you, students, operational case study is generally a domination of the technical aspect. You are not a manager here, you are a finance officer. But what we will do, we will go through this, but students, please don't memorize these things, just get the understanding and application. Where can I buy a pair of Ted Cushy athletic shoe? So they have developed their sales function very strong, that is the digitalization of the sales function. One of our retail stores, location which can be found by clicking here, that's the online store. Or our online store which is available in the website by clicking here. Or our shopping app available to download by clicking here. Students, if you see, they have attracted the three levels. They have an app, they have an online store, then they have the retail stores as well. So I generally feel this is excellent if what they have done. And students, we can go for Google AdWords search like that, because Google AdWords search, they can say, like running shoes, if you type in Google, you can quickly get some verbs, example like come to Ted Cushy. That's how no students, they generally develop these things for your understanding. The next one, choose either casual range or performance range. So again, look at the way they have structured it. So the algorithms, this we say as algorithms. This we say as what, students? Algorithms. Algorithms are codings, and if you see, the codings are generally developed like a flowchart here. I believe that you can get the application of this very clearly. Casual range, for a pair of comfortable and stylish athletic shoes to wear every day. So you can wear it every day. For office you can wear it, for casual wears you can, so semi-casual I can generally say. Performance range, for a pair of shoes which support your feet and enhance your running performance. Students, get the point of view, running performance, how fast you can run. So wool, wood, hill, flat. So these are the subcategory. Natural wool upper for complete comfort, available in many different designs and color. Natural wood upper for added weather proofing, available in many different design and color. When with a wood upper and the shoe design adapted for hill running, so specifically mentioning hill running, available from range of basic, regular and elite design for each 5, and the flat, the wood upper and the shoe design running available. So one thing, students, they have not mentioned men or female. That is one question that you need to ask. So just to make it clear, can I mention here as unisex? Now students, unisex means both male and female can use it. Both male and female can use it. Both male and female can use it. Walking shoes. Now students, if you see walking shoes, generally used by both the male and the female. Get the understanding of that very clearly, students. That is the basic application there. So coming into the next one, students, it's not so complicated. It is very simple and easy. So coming into the next one for your understanding, the directors. Now I just want to think about something, students, that is formal shoes. There can be a situation that in future we can go for formal shoes in a different brand name, not with Ted Cushy, a subsidiary. We can develop our own subsidiary enterprise as well. That is one point of view. And then students, we can go for kids wear. I can say kids wear also as well, the small children wear. That is also a basic understanding for your things. Now coming here, students, the directors. Sophia Grigg, managing director, is one of the co-founder of Ted Cushy and has been responsibility for the business as a whole. She has responsibility for marketing, and together with her co-founder Harry Blank has the final sign-off of a new design and the product. Sophia has been keen interest in the sustainability and is continually looking for ways to reduce any harmful impact to the business environment. Now Sophia was one of their key founder, and again see, students, their major concerns at the end of the day is environment. Now I can say this is the new trend, students. People are more concerned about the environment. Now Harry Blank, I think he is also one of the co-founder, is the other co-founder of Ted Cushy, and overall responsibility for development of new athletic shoe design as well at IT department. Harry is passionate about fitness and well-being and is keen to expand the product based on the business into apparel and other fitness related products. He is also interested in digital social media marketing and recently appointed a dedicated social media marketer. Students, get the point of view now. Due to the digitalization, everything goes in digital for your understanding. And students, one more thing I just want to keep you updated. Now if you see Sophia and Harry, they are the co-founder, and the mostly important is the maintenance of the environment. That is their first target at the end of the day, students. Coming to the next one, Oleg Skratch, the production director, has been in the post since 2010, almost 10 years. Previously been a senior production manager of a garment manufacturing facility. He has responsibility for production facilities, which includes raw material and warehouse. He has an interest in sustainable production and work closely with Sofia to continually improve the working practices in the production factory. Because students, shoe and the garment production almost have the similar things of process, but the materials may change, and I think Sofia is guiding him. The next person here is Jack Tang. Jack Tang, Sales and Distribution Director, has been in the post since 2020. He has been responsible for online sales, retail stores and distribution centers. Jack has experience with technology and IT systems and would like the distribution center to embrace and use more technology. So as I told you students, the E1 pillar is just digital finance, the technology, okay, managing business with digital finance. So mostly technology is the impact here, students. Emily Quader, the finance director, I will put a star for her, students, because you are a finance officer. So I think she is your final boss. Has been in the post since 2012 and has been qualified as an accountant since 2002. She has the responsibility of the finance department and has instrumental in securing financiers in early stages of business. Emily believes that the business is on sound financial footing, that now at time need to invest in new products and markets. So Emily is very clear on what they are going to do in the future. So get the application of that very clearly. She is the finance director. The next person is Sarah Gomez, the human resource director. Now students, can you remember they were telling about the craft people? So remember the term craft people, students. They are very critical here. They need to have skills actually, because students, if you see garments versus shoes you need to have little bit of skills, because the consumption, and especially if you see hard shoes like the trekking shoes or the running shoes, needs to be very strong. Has been in the post since 2018 when the post was created. Previously, Emily Quader has been responsible for human resources. Sarah has responsibility for all aspects of human resource management across the business. She was keen to take the role because of Ted Cushy's excellent reputation for staff welfare. So get that understanding very clearly. So she has been very nice to the staffs as well. So these are the production function that they have developed at the moment. So students, head of purchasing we have, head of raw material warehouse we have, head of production we have, and head of maintenance we have. Now students, I think inside the production only we may have packing everything, but one thing was quality control, because students, every business specifically in the manufacturing sector should have something called quality control, if I am not mistaken, because quality control plays a major role. Quality control plays a major role for your understanding. Get the application very well. Sales and distribution, Jack Tang, head of online sales, retail sales, and head of finished goods warehouse. Now this is raw material warehouse, finished goods warehouse, so online retail. But my next question is whether app is going to online. That is my next question, because I believe there is an online store and they have an app and they also have the retail business as well. So get the understanding of that very clearly. And one more thing, students, advertising all, I am not sure who is taking care of that, and finance, that is our team, Emily Quida, then the Ben Numa, and here we are their students, and you are a finance officer and there are 4 finance assistants as well. So you need to teach your finance assistants how to do finance. There can be situation when an intern joins the company, students, you should be able to guide the intern on what you need to show it to them. So coming to the next one, other information about company operations. Now if you see, the other information about the company operation also plays a major role. So sales, markets, and the sales channel. Ted Cushy sells its athletic shoes to customers in Kalen and 9 other countries in Europe. The company has always had a policy of direct selling to the customers and does not currently sell through intermediate retailers and wholesalers. So they are directly selling to the customers. So good thing I can say is feedback, because when you sell directly to the customer, you have the feedback. That is the first good thing. But the bad thing is, students, less expansion, because if you look at a company like McDonald's, McDonald's is popular among the world because they don't directly sell it to you. They sell it through something called a franchise. They sell it through something called what, students? A franchise, for your understanding, because franchise plays a major role. Until 2017, all sales were made online via company website. In 2017, Ted Cushy opened its first retail store in capital city of Kalen. There are now 8 stores in major cities in Kalen and further 6 stores in capital cities of other 6 European countries. So students get the application very, very well. The point of view is currently they are in the European region only. There can be a situation they can expand to the American region, but American region is not an easy region. It's a very tough region. So the best region to survival is the Asia or the Africa region, because that can be done very, very well. For the year ended 30th June 2021, Ted Cushy's revenue has been analyzed as follows. So online sales, retail sales they have given. Students, we need to do an analysis. So in the ratio analysis class, I will be doing the breakdown of this. This is critically important. So online sales, Northern European, Southern European, and the total. Retail stores are also given, and total is also given for your understanding. Get the application very clearly, students. It is important. But frankly speaking, students, online sales is definitely growing very well, because if you see, the current trend is online, students, because when people are now facing time is the major constraint for the people now, not the money. Sales are not uniformly distributed across the year, not uniformly distributed, meaning there is seasonal demand. There is seasonal demand. Now, if you see Europe, students, specifically during the summer, when people go out, I am being frank, there can be high peak years. And let's see, the peak sales are on the October and the December. And then it's April and June correspond to the new design launches, which are typically happening in the March and September each year. Online sales are managed from office at the distribution center. Customers can either order from the website or through Ted Cushy's shopping app, which was launched in 2020. Get the application very, very well, students, because they have an app which was launched recently as well. Now, students, digitalization is taking place. Digital transformation plays a major role here, students. Ted Cushy athletic shoes appeal to a broad range of customers. Across a wide age range, the casual range is designed for the casual everyday wearing and fast becoming on most trendy brands of athletic shoes to be seen in, partly because of Ted Cushy's appealing design, partly because of sustainability credentials. So design and sustainability, value innovation. So I'll write down here, students, they have developed value with innovation. Value innovation. Students, they have created an uncontested market. We specifically say uncontested market is a blue ocean. That means it is not yet bleeding. The clean water is there. So students, they have taken out it, but let's see what's happening later, because they would have definitely given about the competition factor as well. The performance range of running shoes is also growing in popularity and has a good reputation. It is currently targeted at people who are running to keep their body fit as a hobby rather than elite runners. For both the casual and the performance range, Ted Cushy's price are slightly above the market average similar products. So I told you, value innovation. They are giving the values, and they can also charge a little bit premium, and still I don't feel the people may find it difficult. The mix of sales between casual and performance shoe is different in retail stores and online stores. That of course happens. This is because the customer prefer to come into a shoe so they can benefit from the expertise of the sales team when selecting the performance shoes. Many of Ted Cushy's customers are loyal to the brand and own more than one pair of Ted Cushy's athletic shoes. So students, that clearly says that people are not only buying one pair of shoes, they are buying 2 pair of shoes. Indirectly they are saying their designing function is really, really good. So students, my one question that comes into my mind is always, that is a big thing you also can think about. There is something called succession plan in HR. Because students, these founders are young, and there can be a situation in case of a death, God forbids, in case of a death, what will happen? Who is going to take care of the designing function? Because a good company will always design a successor for them. That's the importance. Think about Google. They gave it to Sundar Pichai. Why did they give Google to Sundar Pichai? Because Sundar Pichai was far talented enough to manage the organization. And that clearly shows the diversity factor of HR as well. Coming back, production facility. Cushy makes all its shoes as a single production facility, where it weaves and fabrics from shoe uppers are made, molds and soles of shoes are assembled and finished. The site includes number of different buildings used on different production operation and raw material in the warehouse. So students get that understanding. Production is typically for inventory rather than to order. On completion of production, finished goods are sent to Cushy's separate distribution center, which is located 10 kilometers from the production centers. So I can generally say they have done a very good supply chain management as well, because just 10 kilometers you can reach your factory. Now coming here on the production process, design and the prototype. Now students, you would have studied the product life cycle. So I can say this area of design and prototype is very critical. Students get that understanding very well, because if your design and the prototype goes into a 6, I think people may not like it. Weaving of upper fabric, cutting of upper fabric, stitching of upper fabric, and then students molding the shoe. So you see there are 2 partitions. So this needs to match. So I can say there can be a limiting factor. Students get the understanding there can be a limiting factor, because both the products are jointly contributing, lasting and finishing. Lasting means students, you connect the shoe, the lower part and the upper part. Now coming into the detailed analysis, again students, again I am giving you a disclaimer. Some students spend more time on the pre-scene designing, manufacturing process. Yeah, you must spend time. I'm not saying not to spend time, but don't waste your entire time in this. You need to connect it with your other subject areas. Design and prototype. A new shoe design are launched 2 times a year. So useful life, indirectly the useful life of your shoe is 2 years. Maybe it may be more than that, but that's how they have developed the trend. Each design starts as a conceptual drawing in the product development department. After initial approval, the paper designs is digitalized using the CAD software, computer assisted design, which allows a pattern to be created. From this initial pattern, prototypes of shoes are developed rigorously and tested, with the patterns of material requirement tweaked until perfect shoe can be created. After final design approval, any new shoe molding and cutting required the production are sourced, then the production can commence. So get the application of this very well. So it's basically the designer's role is the function of the basement. Weaving of the fabric. So coming here, all fabric used to create upper of the Cushy shoes in woven and production facilities by modern weaving machineries. So students, we need to think about the asset replacement as well. Depreciation we can check also students, and also students, there is something called tax allowable depreciation. Just try to remember these verbs students, because it is very critical for you to understand the application. The company buys yarn made from 8 high quality wood from wood pulp, and this is woven into rolls and fabric. Cutting. Each shoe upper consists of number of segments that needs to be cut out from the fabric that has been woven. 2 methods are used to cut out the segments, by hand or by digital laser cutting. So students, again there is a branding option, because handmade versus the digital laser cutting, there is 2 things to be considered. So the next one is stitching. All segments of the shoe, upper, outer layer or lining, are stitched together by one of the Cushy skilled craft people using modern sewing machine designed specifically for the task. At the side of the eyelets are stitched at the upper ready for the faces. It looks good. And coming to the next one, molding of shoes. At the same time as shoe uppers are being made, a separate production team makes the midsoles and the outsoles. Pallets of the natural rubbers are composite made of sugar canes are combined into the melting vat, and the soles are molded by injection process. Once again students, this is critically important for you to get the understanding students. The next one, lasting. Lasting is the process where shoe is assembled and taken into the shape A last metal of a model of wood foot shape relevant to the type of shoes are being created. Lasting machinery sets up a relevant last for the floppy shoes under the stretched onto the last. The bottom ends of the are folded into the base of large and midsole outsole, and the shoes are pressed into upper by the machine. After the sole is added, shoe is taken off last and ready for finishing. So get the understanding of this very clearly, and the pictures are also very clear as well. And finishing involves adding insoles, lasers before final quality checks. Okay, they have a final quality check, students, and also distinctive recycled cardboard testing to shine. So I feel that is good. And coming to the next one, students, purchasing and suppliers. Now students, coming into this aspect of purchasing and suppliers, the main raw material for production processes are yarn, natural rubber, sugarcane composite. Students, I told you, whatever happens, you don't forget these, students, because these are very important. So YNS, you can remember YNS, or you can put NYS, New York South. Okay, NYS, remember that. Natural rubber, yarn, and sugarcane. Now students, get the understanding very clearly. There are two types of yarn used by thread Cushy, one made out of wool and the other made out of wood pulp. Each type of yarn is a single supplier. Both suppliers create yarns in the kiln from natural resources sourced and sustainable in the country. Natural rubber in the pallet forms is sourced from 3 different suppliers, 2 in Asia, 1 in South America. So get the understanding of this very clearly. 2 are there in Asia, 1 is there in the South Africa as well. All 3 thread Cushy's natural rubber suppliers are members of World Federation Alliance Sustainable Sourcing. So get that application very well. Since thread Cushy was founded, it has worked with TB Sweet Nature, a company based in South America, to develop the composite made from the waste product of sugarcane. TB Sweet Nature is the thread Cushy's one of the suppliers which composite used in the production of the shoes. Get the application of this very well. Now coming in addition, thread Cushy buys from a range of suppliers mostly based in Kalan. Insoles made from castor beans. Lasers are made out of recycled plastic, cotton thread. Packaging made out of recycled cardboard again. So that clearly shows that their entire business process is very good, because they are generally focusing on the recycling aspect, students. Thread Cushy takes conservative approach of raw material inventory. Management takes advantage of bulk purchase discounts where possible. Payment terms granted by supplier range to 30 to 60 days. So students, working capital management F2, 30 to 60 days is the payment time that they have giving to the people. Okay students, the distribution centers and the logistic. Students, again I am telling you, don't panic. This is how they generally design the case study. It looks longer. Why it looks longer? To give the overall picture of what is happening. The company has a distribution center located 10 kilometers from production facility. The distribution center includes large warehouse for storage, finished goods for inventory. There is also an office which all online sales and the retail store logistics are managed as well. Process in respect for online sales are follow. Good received from production facilities via company's own delivery vehicles on planet. So remember students, company has own delivery vehicle. Pallets moved via forklift trucks for the goods warehouse. Order received from customer and checked to ensure customer has paid. Picking of goods by robots. Students, again I am writing here. I told you this is a very good technologically developed business, students. Pick goods sends to the packing hub of goods checked in order manually. Goods are packed and the packing hub manually. Orders are dispatched to online customer via third-party courier service. So get the application of this very well, students. This is important. Now coming to the next one. Dispatches to retail stores are carried out by international logistic company. Get the application, students. It is taken by international logistics company for your understanding. So I will just write down one small point for you, students. Since it is international logistic company, can I write down here forex? There is a forex issue, the foreign transparency issues. So just keep in mind. Thread Cushy takes conservative approach for management of finished goods inventory. at distribution center. This is to ensure full range of design, colors and sizes are available for quick dispatch to the customers. So retail stores. So coming into the next application, there are currently 8 Cushy retail stores in Kalen, all located in major cities. There are further 6 retail stores in capital cities of other European countries. Again, they are repeating this because students, there will be a situation of performance management or performance appraisal, because students, they have many sales division budget can be done. So just remember that, students, each store is fitted out the same way and displays full range of shoe design. The retail store sells only to Cushy brand. Just remember that the retail store sells only to Cushy brand. So they have an exclusive retail outlet. That means they are developing something called exclusivity. Now the problem is, students, if you have the exclusivity concept, the expansion will get affected because that will be an issue. Now example, students, Nike have the exclusive stores, but also they sell it to other parties as well, if I am not mistaken. So the next one here is, students, each store has a store manager whose responsibility to include inventory control as well as recruiting and training retail employees. Each store manager has a monthly sales target that they expected to achieve. Each store has a touchscreen monitor giving customer information about the benefits of using natural resources such as wool, wood, castor beans, rubber, as well as science behind the shoe design. So I believe that they have developed a very strong ecosystem between them. Now coming to the next one, employees. Cushy has the following number of employees. So production facility 284, distribution center 124, retail 90 and head office 29. Head office includes product development, finance and human resource team. So product development is in the head office. So actually it should be somewhere in the production facility for better understanding, if I am not mistaken. So coming to the next one, standard costing and budget. The company operates a standard absorption costing system using departmental overhead absorption rates based on either direct labor hours or machine hours for both variable and fixed production overhead. Standard cost cards are produced for each shoe design and are updated annually. So get the understanding of that very clearly, students. So there is an updation taking place as well. So they are using the absorption costing on that process. Budgets are prepared annually on an incremental basis. So students, recall the budgeting area, because budgeting is a sure question and they won't ask you to prepare budget, they will ask you to analyze it. Managers have limited involvement in the budget setting, limited budget responsibility for their respective areas. So there is a full centralized control. Now coming to the next one, students. Now you would have observed this case study is a very long one and it's continuously growing. No problem, students. Global sales of athletic shoes. Global footwear sales in 2020 was $180 billion, of which 70 billion contributed to athletic shoes. So athletic shoes is a part of this segment and a good part. The market for athletic shoes is dominated by 4 major athletic shoes. One is the clothing brand that is truly global present, and the 4 brands that have operation across the world and sell future range of athletic shoes, clothing and both sports and leisure. The other brands that sells athletic shoes can be categorized as either a non-specialist or a specialist. So with a brand incorporating athletic shoes and clothing and just athletic shoes, specialist brands are typically relatively small companies that focus on the niche within the market, such as athletic shoes made out of recycled material, athletic shoes from specific sports. Cushy is an example of a specialist athletic shoes. That's what I told you. Once again, I'm repeating the term value innovation. They have done a very good value innovation, students. Sustainable products, environmental friendly products with high performance and good design as well. So this dashboard is clearly explaining how it works out. So we are in the, I think the biggest one, that is the 67% if I'm not mistaken. The major 4 athletic shoes, clothing and brand companies, and non-athletic shoes are 14%, non-specialist 12%, specialist athletic shoes, this is the 4%. I think we are here, specialist sports athletic shoes brand. So we are a niche market. I can specifically say we are a niche market, and that's the reason, students, our growth was very high, and we are also able to charge a premium as well. So coming here, of the 70 billion of athletic shoes that are generated by 2020, approximately 50% of the sales are high performance shoes, covering a wide range of sports, and 50% related to casual athletic shoes. The global market for athletic shoes has grown by average of 5% a year over the last 10 years and expected to grow by 7% a year for the next 5 years. So there is a growth, students. This market is growing. This is mainly due to increasing interest in health and fitness, generally also driven by the millennials, I told you, for this fashion statement as well. Get the application very, very well, students. It is important. Now, students, coming to the next one, the sales of the sports and athletic shoes. Over the last 10 years, consumer shopping habits have significantly changed. In 2010, only 10% of athletic shoes were made online, and the 90% of the retail shoes in 2020, and 60% was of the total sales. So they are giving it. So the basic idea in this case is the online market is growing. What is happening, students? The online market is growing. The online market is what, students? Growing. Whether consumers buy the athletic shoes direct from the brand or from a third-party retailer has also changed slightly over the same 10-year period. Increasing brands have used direct selling to consumers either through their own web stores or dedicated retail stores, and this is shown. So students, get the understanding very, very well. Now, if you see, students, if you see the 2020, 2015 and 2010. Now online, you see the color, it's going up. The online is going up, students. Retail stores were doing very well, but online is really going up at the moment if you clearly observe. Retail stores, yeah, for some time in 2010 only, but online is doing really, really well, for your understanding. Get the point of view very, very well. 2020, if you see, students, the online is the new trend, I generally believe, because the retail stores are slowly becoming less. People don't like retail stores items manufacturing. The vast majority of athletic shoes are manufactured in Asia. So students, I told you ethical issues can come. You can remember, students, Nike. I'll write down here Nike Vietnam. You can write Nike Vietnam. You can check and see, students. Also keeping the cost down. However, over the past 10 years, there has been number of small companies proving that manufacturing in-house can be profitable. One of that is Cushy. So they have proved it is possible to do it in-house as well. Students, this is the financial statement. You can just have a look at this. Anyway, I will do this in the ratio class. Okay, we can clearly observe one thing. That's a growth. You see the revenues are growing. That's the main thing. Selling, distribution, administration, finance cost, all have been given. And now coming to the statement of financial position, lease. I want to say one thing. This is IFRS 16 lease, right of use of the asset. Keep in mind, students, it is critically important. Inventory, other receivable, cash and cash equivalent. Then equity liability, there is no change. Borrowing, lease liability. I told you there is a lease element. Tax payable, lease liability. And the cash flow statement, depreciation, increase in inventory, tax paid, interest paid, purchase, disposal. So they are specifically explaining all these functions. Sorry about that. Please excuse me. Okay. Sorry about that. So coming forward, the budget information is also there. They have done a good budgeting analysis actually. They have broken into the casual wear versus the performance wear. All are going in the same range as well. And the budgeted volumes are also given, students, and the budgeting is also given very well. don't worry, let's do all these things. And the standard cost card is also given. I told you students, you should remember the names. This is critical, students, because you are a finance officer. Yeah, you need to have technical knowledge, but with the technical knowledge you should be able to have the application as well. So the notes are given. This we can discuss it later, students. Business today. Now this is a very critical area, the newspaper articles. Now let's come to the discussion of this, because the newspaper articles are really important. So what's the secret? Now that's the name of the article here. What's the secret? Okay, it is business that just seems to keep growing from humble beginning. From the sale of first pair of shoes in 2010, for the last 3 years have seen a revenue growth averaging 15% a year. A phenomenal rate of growth in the market, which dominated by major international brand. So what's the secret of Cushy's success? An interview with Sophia Grigg, Cushy's managing director and the co-founder, she said that is no secret. For her, the success of the brand is a result of giving the consumers what they want. On athletic shoes made forward for natural materials and both stylish and comfortable at the same time. The company work hard and keeping design fresh and one few athletic shoe brand that keeps the manufacturing in-house. Even a fabric from the shoe uppers are made in woven in the production facility. So students, it is clear in my interview with Sophia that she is passionate about the impact Cushy brand is doing in the environment. This we say as a disruption. Students, Uber created a disruption, if I am not mistaken. So they are specifically mentioning that for the idea. On Cushy shoes, either sustainable from natural or recycle, keeping manufacturing in-house means Sophia and her management team can limit wastage and ensure that the production process and the environment is friendly. And the second thing is, over the last 10 years, Cushy has managed to tap into the growing consumer awareness on all matters relating to sustainability. Not only that, through the clever design, it has created shoes that are seen as cool, and another reason for its success, whether you are 16 or 60. So the target audience has been captured really well. That is from 16 to 60. Now they have done that analysis excellent. Cushy shoes are increasingly the shoes to be seen in. The future looks bright for this company with new product ranges in pipeline and continues to focus on quality sustainability. Sophia is confident that Cushy can continue to compete with major brands. Now the next one, Running Weekly. So I think it's a sports magazine, students. Running shoes are the next new things. Okay, let's see what are they spelling. So students, if you observe that article what we just read, it's just an article about the people who are buying our shoes and how Sophia has segmented. I don't get any other data from that to make a decision there. So just keep in mind. Running shoes, what are the next new things? Smart tech has already revolutionized the way that we monitor how we exercise through devices that we can wear on our wrist and arm. It's not easy to track our heart rates and our fitness progress on our mobile devices. Some tech is running shoes is newer invention by starring the traction in the market. Prices of running shoes with smart tech embedded in the sole of the shoes are falling, and leading brands, okay, some lesser known brands, find more efficient ways to produce such shoes. They can only be good for news for us. It's not running shoes that are changing. With the abundance of running shoe design available in the market today, we often difficult to choose the pair of suits our running shoe styles. More and more runners are turning into the gait analysis, which involves running on specialist treadmills that scan the running action before making a purchase. Whether we over or under pronate, we run really matters when it comes to selecting can be expensive pairs of running shoes. And the good news is increasingly athletic shoes companies seems to be more aware of this. Just last month, one of the big 4 worldwide brand launched an in-store gait analysis service free as long as you purchased a pair of shoes for the customer service. So get that understanding, students, of the verb called the gate service. You need to do a small research about that. So technology, now students, fitness watches are becoming emergent in the market. So similar to that, they are specifically saying. So tax in the regime, corporate income tax rate is applied at 30%. That's very clear. Unless otherwise stated below, accounting rules on recognition and measurements are followed for tax purposes. Accounting depreciation, amortization, impairment, entertainment, donation, tax. Tax depreciation allowance on property plant, 25% on, that is including on reducing balance method. A full year allowance is available in the year of tax that is required. So tax losses are carried forward, sales tax are 20%. Students, this is just given as usual in all the case study. So once again, I am repeating, students, you need to be very thorough with the core activities. This is very critical for all the students who are watching this. And second thing, students, get familiar with the Pearson website, how to use the SEMA platform. And the final and the most important thing that I need to make sure for you all is you should be very strong in the next area. The next area, what I'm going to say is, students, your learning area. So any questions, any doubts you have, please feel free to comment in the comment box. I will respond to you as fast as possible. So thank you very much, students, and wish you a very happy new year. All the best with your examination. Take care, students.